starting with Alex Stone, who said, I just had a terrifying thought. What would happen if President Trump wins the election, but on January 6th, Kamala Harris does what President Trump wanted Mike Pence to do? Yeah, wouldn't that be a horrible, terrible, treasonous thing to do?
You know what's so strange when we're talking about these treasonous things one person can do to the country? It's so weird that Laura Loomer on Tim Pool's channel talked about executing people for treason, and Tim had to scrub it from his channel because talking about killing people is a thing YouTube doesn't like very much. It's so weird to think about how these people view treason and how bad it would be if somebody else did the treason that Trump already tried to do.
It's just like, how do you type this tweet and send it without realizing what you're saying? Like, this is like, I recognize that what we did was a bad thing, but it's only bad when other people do it. It's not bad when we do it. Like, what? How did you not make that connection?
The reason they didn't make that connection is because of the but. I realize that it's bad when this happens.
But because of the but. You said because of the but.
And now the but, much like what happens with the obesity epidemic in the United States, the but has to carry a lot. The but has to do a lot of work now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like, what if other people did the same thing as us?
God damn it.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing. That's why we don't want you to do it. That's why Trump is being indicted all over the place for doing it. That's why a bunch of people went to prison for doing it.
Thank you for redeeming your points.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, well. Are you happy now?
I'm
Did you
happy.
Get what you wanted?
I got what I wanted.
If you're happy, that's not what I'm asking.
I'm so hard right now.
I need. I'm not kink shaming. I'm kink asking why. That's where I'm at the moment. That's what I'm doing.
PSA. No ooh-ooing beyond this point.
Sylvie Snow says that's what you get for the Rhino toilet play. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Next comes Autocorrect 2.0, who says, most atheism that is allegedly based on I'm an atheist because I read the Bible is actually always I have abysmal reading comprehension upon more thorough review and investigation.
All right, cool. Have any examples of that? Ooh, woo.
No, they don't have examples of that.
That's
Rosina
the first
says, did I hear ooh-woo?
No,
you did, Rosina.
Didn't. It was a spook the entire time. You heard nothing.
Wrong button.
Ooh, woo.
There it is.
Ooh, woo, small beans, little babies.
Ooh, woo. God damn it. Ooh, woo. So anytime somebody says something like this, because I've heard this shit before, right? And usually it's some version of you didn't read the Bible with the Holy Spirit. That's usually how it's worded. But when it's worded like this, my go-to from now on is going to be, do you have any examples of that? Do you have any examples of an atheist specifically misunderstanding a specific part of the Bible that you hold contention with and why you hold contention with it?
Because immediately I would just bring up Dr. Josh, who is an atheist. And he's a PhD Assyriologist who's he reads biblical Hebrew. He's my go-to. Like when I occasionally get into arguments about like, oh, this is what that word means in the original Hebrew, I will almost always run it past Dr. Josh. And there have been times, so many times, when I've thought like, this is such a simple thing, but like these two sources are saying two different things about it. This one is clearly more reputable. I just want Dr. Josh to confirm this for me. Like, make sure that my understanding is correct when if I say this about it, is that accurate? And he'll be like, just a second, I got to research that. And he won't get back to me for like 2 days because he's like doing a deep dive on this one Hebrew word. And I'm just like, I just said this one little thing about it, and you're doing this in-depth research onto it. And like he'll come back to me with like paragraphs of like, these are the contexts that we've seen this word used in outside of the Bible, these are the contexts we've seen it used in inside the Bible, this is how it seems to play out in most contexts, and he'll come back with this beautifully intricate explanation of this one singular ancient Hebrew word. And this is the degree of care that he puts into understanding the source material. And like when he writes his books that deal with the Bible, he does his own translating of the Bible. He doesn't rely on someone else's translation. He does it himself with this degree of care for every single word. And then he writes a book about how the Bible endorses slavery. And then he writes The Atheist Guide to the Old Testament, volumes 1 and 2, narrated by Seth Andrews. And
it's almost like there are easy, prominent atheist figures you can point to who actually do a good bit of work and a good bit of research into this shit. Also, Stoff, I want a lion to sit on your face. Oh, whoa. Again. I mean, it had to happen again. I guess.
What if he's a furry who's into face sitting? Is Stoff he? Sorry. Pronouns for Stoff.
Stoff's it.
Stoff is it. Okay.
But so while I hadn't considered that, now I'm having to consider it.
That could be a nice thing for them. Just saying.
I want to die.
Just saying. There's a kink for everybody. Everybody's got a kink.
I just need this to pull out my jugular real quick.
It's
very important to me.
I thought you were going lower with that.
No, so it's not going to work if I just rip that off. That'll heal. I need to
No, there are arteries down there that
I need to figure out if God's real. Hold on.
Have you seen Flatliners?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a movie about a bunch of people who they're like pre-med or they're med students who like kill themselves and then revive themselves to see whether or not the afterlife is real.
What?
Yeah, it's a movie from the 90s. It's fairly big.
Okay.
I forget who's in it. Fairly big named actors, I think. IMDb.com. Now I got to look up Flatliners. Jessica Alba's in it? Flatliners. 2017. No, not that one. Not that one. 1990. That's the one. Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, Julia Roberts. They didn't get the good Baldwin. They got Billy Baldwin.
I know some of those names.
Oliver Platt. Who else is in it? No, those are the biggest names. Yeah, they remade Flatliners. I just discovered that as I was trying to find the other one, that they did one in 2017 with Elliot Page and Diego Luna. I like Diego Luna.
They remade Flatliners?
With Diego Luna.
Huh.
Okay. I might have to watch that. Because Diego Luna is fucking amazing. Anyway, back to the tweets. Next up is... Why is it not scrolling? Next up is nothing because I'm... Oh, my whole thing is frozen.
Yeah, Zoom is frozen.
There we go. Oh, no, we're not going to Frank.
There we go.
Oh, you guys got a fucking preview. There's 2 Blair Whites.
No!
Blair White says, I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, but at least I can say I never got the COVID vaccine. That's another dumb thing you did in your life.
Things plus 1.
Yeah, that counts as one of the dumb things you did. Or didn't do in that case.
Okay.
And then Blair White again says, I stopped listening to the My Body, My Choice people when they banned people who didn't get a half dozen shots that didn't work from participating in society. That never happened.
Yeah, they didn't get banned from participating in society, and I don't know what she even means by didn't work, because the vaccine does what it's supposed to do.
I got vaccinated and I got boosted before I got COVID for the first time. And as a result of having been vaccinated and boosted, when I got COVID, it was like, basically I had a runny nose for a couple days. It was almost nothing.
I've had COVID twice now. Once was really bad. It laid me out even after I was vaccinated and boosted. And the second time, it was basically a cold. Yeah. Like I know that it could have been a lot worse because I know what my parents went through when they got it.
Mhm.
And they were, like, Republicans as they may be, they were vaccinated at the very least. And even then, it kicked their fucking asses. But again, I've seen how bad it can be. I've seen how bad it can get.
Yeah.
So to know that by
Do you
by
know
severity, it's not as bad.
Do you know the physics girl, Diana Cowan?
The physics
Cowan?
girl?
Diana, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but I think
No.
it's Cowan. She had a great YouTube channel. She would explain physics concepts in a very entertaining and relatable way, very approachable and amazing. I've referenced her videos in my videos before, and it's great. She got long COVID. She is still to this day, several years ago, she got long COVID, and she is still bedridden. Like, she is only just starting to get to the point where she can compose her own tweets again.
Jesus.
Yeah, it fucked her right up.
I know for Saki, she got long COVID, and it not literally, but effectively made her lungs Swiss cheese. So it's harder for her to breathe.
Yeah. Do you know Pirate Software? Thor?
Yes, I do.
He got long COVID, where it knocked him out for a couple years. He couldn't program. So, like,
Jesus.
yeah, long COVID is not something to joke around with. And, like, if you are vaccinated and boosted, you are less likely to get long COVID. And if you do get COVID or long COVID, it's going to be less
severity's
severe.
lower.
So, like, yeah, no, there's so many studies that show that conclusively. So, like, just fucking get the shots. Just fucking get them.
Like, if you're worried about risks, we know what all of the risks are. We have very comprehensive studies.
Almost every single
risk.
Almost every single one of the risks with the COVID vaccine is even more of a risk if you get actual COVID.
Yep.
Like, they talk about myocarditis. Like, yeah, that's a risk of the vaccine. You might get myocarditis. You know what has an exponentially higher risk of myocarditis? Actually getting COVID. So, like, just get the fucking shots.
Yep.
Bragwin says physics girl has ME/CFS with post-exertion malaise. Basically, the virus messed with the mitochondria of her cells so she can't regulate energy.
Because the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
That it is. Yep.
And now it can't power the house.
Yep. Yeah, and I fucking loved her channel. I'm so mad at COVID for taking that away from us for so long. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Dustin Grage says, so again, this is an older one. This conspiracy theory seems to have petered out a little bit, but for a while they were trying to be like, Tim Walz was with 2 different dogs? What? It's like, it says, yes, this is Tim Walz tweeting about his dog Scout. Only problem is that these are 2 completely different dogs. Except one of them is, so like the one on the left is like, hey, this is me and Scout. The one on the right is...
The one on the left is a dog in a dog park in a different harness.
No, the one on the right is, I took Scout to a dog
the one
park.
On the right, sorry.
Yeah, the one on the right is, I took Scout to a dog park. And this isn't Scout, this is just a dog that was at the dog park.
Yeah.
So this is where this kind of, for me, this kind of began the hypothesis of, I think Republicans just don't know about the existence of the number 2, and this, because you get,
so they're
Kamala
one step
Harris
below Valve.
Kamala Harris is biracial. She's made up of at least 2 races. That doesn't make sense. She used to be Indian, now she's black. She can't be both. That's a bad thing. Tim Walz,
for some reason,
he has a dog named Scout on the left, and there's another dog on the right, and he says the Scout was there too, but the Scout's not in that picture. So there's 2. There's 2 no, we don't understand 2. So, like, oh no, this is a conspiracy. Like, what the fuck even would the conspiracy be here? What do they think happened?
I hate that I heard the there's an all female Ghostbusters Vine when you were talking about there's a second dog there. They just heard they're making an all-female Ghostbusters. The woke are taking over. Na 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 na. I'm an adult virgin.
Yeah, I'm just like, what is even the conspiracy theory supposed to be here? What does he think the goal was of faking a dog named Scout several years before he was VP candidate?
He's playing the long game, like COVID, that isn't real.
I don't know. I don't get
That's
it.
what
Like,
the establishment
what,
doesn't want you to know.
I don't get what the goal was supposed to be here. It's like, there are multiple dogs. One is Scout, one is not. But Scout was there. But, like, there's a video that went along with this post that, like, took no time whatsoever to find, where Scout is in the video, and it's the black dog that he called Scout in the other picture. Like, I don't know. These people are just grasping at straws. It's weird. Frank Turek says, if you're going to say evil exists and that people do evil, you have to assume that they have free will. Credit where it's due. I did not see this ending in a free will argument. I thought this was going to be his typical shtick of, you know, if you want God to get rid of all the evil in the world, would you even be alive afterwards? Because the only way to get rid of evil is to kill the evil people. As God is so uncreative that the only solution he can possibly think of is mass murder. But, so yeah, it went to free will. But,
A different area than you would have expected. I still disagree with him, though.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I just don't think free will exists.
See, I'm on the fence about that. I don't know whether or not free will exists. I don't particularly care. It seems to exist, so we should behave as though it exists.
I mean, I'm a pragmatist,
Yeah.
so I agree with that statement. I am also of the opinion that there is enough apparatus in your subconscious for operating the human body that we consciously do not have any control over.
Yeah, something Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Yeah, it's enough for me to go, yeah, free will probably doesn't exist, but it doesn't matter. We still have to operate as though it does.
Yeah. Yeah, but like even if free will doesn't exist, we still have preferences. And there are things that we prefer not to happen, like mass murder. That's a bad thing, whether you think free will exists or not.
Well, because the thing is, even if you don't think free will exists, you still have to accept that there are consequences to actions, because if there are not consequences to certain actions, then certain actions can just happen over and over and over again unimpeded. So if somebody is doing a mass murder and that is just a thing that they want to do, then maybe incarcerating them is a good thing because it objectively leads to fewer mass murders.
So back to the Tim Walz thing, Rosina Keller says, I think the goal was to show that Walz lies about mundane stuff too, so Trump isn't weird about crowd sizes. Maybe if the goal is to show that Matt Walz lies about mundane things, therefore Trump lying about mundane things isn't weird, then I guess I could kind of see that, but Trump's still fucking weird.
I lied about brushing my teeth once to my parents when I was a child. Therefore, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'm going to do the big lie.
There's so much weird going on. Like, did you see the tweet? Like, there was some hunting page that, like, they tweeted out a picture of a bunch of guys...
all of the birds into Trump's name.
Dead bird carcasses spelling out Trump. It's like, no, if you're... Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but spelling out the name of a candidate that you support in dead animal carcasses is weird.
It's also weird considering that one of Trump's talking points that he's repeatedly gone to against green energy has been save the birds.
Yeah, it kills birds.
He's like,
so let's spell out Trump's name in dead birds.
If you like windmills, I feel sorry for you if you like birds too. Because if you've ever looked at the bottom of one of those, it's a bad sight. It's bad. Like it. What's the message there?
Well, I mean, there is a legitimate concern about windmills harming birds. But, like, the concern is so much lower than climate change. Like, windmills are so much less harmful to birds than climate change is to just people. Oh, there's a hat. Oh, I haven't been communist in a while.
Da, 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 da.
These are our apologetics, comrade.
Our rhino.
Joey Manarino says Kamala's campaign is diabolical. To use the word freedom as a representation of the communist agenda. The communist agenda! Perfect timing on the hat. They're using USA chants which do not belong to them. Belong is two different words. It's belong. Because Joey's an idiot. They're using every trick in the book by running an American-styled campaign only to implement the truest form of communism ever tried. I'm just absolutely chuffed at the fact that I chose to put this hat on before this tweet. That was not intentional. I did not remember that this tweet was even here. I just love that he's so obsessing over communism while I'm wearing my little USSR hat.
You did it.
Thank you so much for whoever did the hats off to you. The perfect timing. Mwah, no notes. This is truly diabolical, and I pray Americans don't fall for it. If they do, America will never recover. Stop talking about 2028. It won't exist. So yeah, this is all about how, I guess Kamala, this is, let's see, when was this? August 22nd? It was a couple weeks ago. Harris did a speech where they started doing the USA chant, the USA, USA. And I just thought it was hilarious that, like, Republicans were being like, that belongs to us. That stupid chant that's associated with people being idiots belongs to us. Like, okay, you can have it. I had mixed feelings about it being used at a Democratic event. So, like, sure, take it back. It's yours. You can have it. Cats kill billions of birds a year, more than all other causes of bird deaths combined. Yeah, so PSA for tonight, all cats should be indoor cats. Yes, cats don't like being indoor cats. They prefer being outdoor cats, but they are really bad for the environment. Perfect example, my cat, when she was alive, we kept her inside. She was an indoor cat, but she would occasionally escape.
Yep.
Every single fucking time she escaped, she killed a vole and brought it back to the front. We don't even know where the fuck these things lived.
She had a gift for you?
But, like, no, but these guys are, like, we looked it up. They're not really supposed to be in our area, and they are endangered. Like, not endangered, they're, like, one step before endangered, whatever that level is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... And every time she went out, she would kill one and bring it back to us. And it's like, that's not good. No, these things need to be alive. Because, like, that's bad for the environment to be, like, killing these creatures that are supposed to be part of the ecosystem that they're not because of human activity, including letting cats outside. So, yeah, and, like, vole isn't the species, like, a specific species of vole. I forget what it was, but, like, we looked it up because, like, she kept on killing these things. Like, I've never seen something like that's not a mouse. It's not a rat. Like, I've never seen a rodent like this. She kept fighting, and they were just in our yard. They probably are still there now that our cat is dead. Threatened is the level above endangered.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, cats are adorable. You can absolutely keep a happy, healthy cat inside. Like, make sure they have lots of space to exercise, make sure they have a cat tree or something to climb on, but don't let them outside. And I have mixed feelings about farm cats that are, like, there to kill pests and stuff like that, because they also kill birds and shit. But I understand that, like, that's something that might be necessary on a farm, and, like, it's better for the environment than poisoning, maybe? I don't know.
There's also situations like the one I'm in where I technically have one outside cat because the cat does not play well with any of the animals inside, and I did not choose to have the cat. It was the situation where a friend of mine growing up who turned out to be a predator said that he needed me to watch his cat for a few days as he was getting arrested, and I did not have the context of his arrest or why he was getting arrested or any of that. So I took his cat in 2 years ago. And here I am.
Okay. Anyway, that's the PSA. Try and keep your cats inside. And
when
farm
you have
cats,
the ability
I don't know.
to, it is the better one.
I don't know what to say about farm cats because I recognize that they're a useful tool. Like, I don't know.
I know that they're...
I know that cats are bad for the local ecology.
Yeah.
Anyway, case orbs. How many liberals have figured out that Kamala was installed? Well, I mean, I didn't get that little
Installed
pop-up.
in what way?
I didn't get the little pop-up warning me that, like, something was trying to install something that I had to click yes on, so, like...
You're about to install Kamala Harris.
No, I think he's talking about how, like, she was nominated at the DNC without doing a proper primary, which this is one of those things where it's like, they make, like, the Republicans are making such a big stink about it, but, like, clearly the reason for that is not because they're actually concerned about election integrity. It's because they're actually scared about running against Kamala instead of Biden. Because, like, if it was actually a problem with election integrity, then you would see Democrats being up in arms, being like, hey, why are we nominating Kamala? I didn't vote for her. Because, like, realistically, the way the parties choose their candidate, there are no constitutional rules about that. The parties get to decide that for themselves. They don't even have to have a primary. They could just be like, hey, this is our candidate this year. Fuck you. We're not letting you vote for her. That's our candidate. Yeah. And that would be perfectly legal. And that's not a great system.
But it is the system we have.
As all the fucking Bernie bros will tell you, Bernie got fucked over by that system. But, like, I have not heard... Well, I've heard a couple, but, like, very, very few Democrats have complained about Kamala being put in without any votes. It's all coming from Republicans, which says to me they're terrified of her. So, like, good. Like, realistically, it was going to be Biden, and then Biden dropped out. So, like, everybody's just fucking excited that it's not the old man who looks like he's about to collapse.
We're happy for anybody that we got besides Biden.
Yeah. I was like the party coalesced around one like, because you go back and watch the archives of the show. The thing that I was worried about if Biden drops out is there going to be a bunch of infighting? Are there going to be a bunch of Democrats vying for that position? And now it's going to be like splitting the base even more, kind of like what Bernie Sanders did in 2016, where like the Bernie bros were like, oh, if I can't vote for Bernie, I'm just going to vote for Trump to upset the apple cart.
We did find as well, though, that there was a significant split within the Democratic Party, but it was kept very, very hush-hush because AOC did a live stream on Twitter where she kind of aired out a lot of those grievances for an audience, which a lot of people noted, like, hey, she's being really transparent about this. That's really cool. But that was one of those things where, like, I figured it would go to Kamala because that's kind of what you would have to do to have access to the DNC money legally. But at the same time, there were a lot of people within the Democratic Party that just strictly did not want her to be the nominee. So we did see there was a split there, but the split was happening internally.
Yeah, and it was not like under wraps, but like it was minimized. And I feel like that was the appropriate way to go about this, because like ideally, like when you're running against a normal Republican, sure, fine, whatever. Try and like air your dirty laundry to try and get yourself, like, promote yourself, whatever. Like, I don't necessarily think that's what it should be, but that would be politics as normal. But like, if Donald Trump gets another term, I'm not convinced that the United States would stay the same country fundamentally. Like, I don't know that it would be as bad as, like, democracy would end in the United States, but I don't know that it wouldn't be that. Because I remember in 2016, I would have said you were being hyperbolic if you had said any of the stuff about Donald Trump that he actually did in subsequent years. So, like, looking back on that, I'm like, I was being too conservative with my criticisms of Trump. So now it's like, yeah, people are saying he's a threat to democracy. Would he actually be capable of ending democracy functionally in the States? I don't want to say no, because I saw what he was able to do with one term.
Also, he's recently been going on record to say that he is very proud of the people that he's managed to plant in like the Georgia election board, because they will be trying to the strategy they're going to be trying to go with is cause chaos to try to say that any amount of votes that come in look suspect, to try to delay it as long as they possibly can to prevent that actual vote from being certified if it looks like a Democrat's going to end up winning or a Democrat vote's going to end up being the thing that comes out of Georgia, like what happened last time.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but when Donald Trump is the person saying that your election board is great and they're going to do what they can to help you, I'm already a little sus about that. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Rod Dreher says, if the GOP had chosen Ron DeSantis, the party would be up over the Democratic nominee by double digits by now. That's high grade copium right there.
Yeah, that feels like cope.
Ron,
it feels like cope, but it also doesn't feel wrong.
I mean, Ron putting fingers DeSantis, you think he would be up over Kamala?
Actually, the more I think on it, yes.
No.
So the reason I say that is he doesn't have the same baggage as Trump. He does have that baggage to people who are politically plugged in. 110%.
He's an alien in a human suit.
Yes, I understand this, but what I'm trying to do is look at this not from the perspective of somebody who's politically plugged in, that knows the shit that he's done, that knows that he's just a shit stain, just going off of regular ass voters' enthusiasm.
Regular ass voters don't have a clue who he is, so they'd just be like, whatever.
That's why he doesn't have the same baggage as Trump, though.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be up double digits. He would just be mediocre at best.
It depends.
He wouldn't be able to energize the base. The only people he would be able to energize are the people that Trump already energizes.
Except that the people that Trump is already energizing, or energized in the past, there's a group of them that are specifically not going to be voting for Trump for the same reasons they didn't vote for him in 2020. Like, the Republican vote, some of that trickling into the Democratic vote helped out a fuck ton last time.
Yeah.
And if Ron DeSantis was the candidate, that's not something that we would be able to rely on this time.
Did you see Trump commenting how like he lost the 2020 election by a whisker?
Oh yeah, because he actually said he willingly said he lost.
That was the thing that Nick Fuentes got up on him. I remember now. Nick Fuentes was all like, "Hey, why did we do January 6th if you lost? What was the whole stop the steal thing? I thought they stole the election. I thought you didn't lose, and now you're saying you lost. What gives?" But he said he lost by a whisker. But like, 7 million votes is not a whisker.
No, it's not.
This was my tweet. I was like, 7 million votes isn't losing by a whisker. It's losing by twice as much as you lost by in 2016. The Electoral College is weird.
Maurice Bear in my chat says Trump energizes people ? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this about a person who I absolutely despise and I think is a shit stain and should trip on a Lego filled with tetanus. But
go back and see our conversation about how if we were in a D&D setting, Trump has a charisma score that works as long as your wisdom saving throw is like under a certain amount.
Yeah, like his thing is he has been trained, like actually studied how to be a media personality. Yes, he has charisma. Does it work on you individually? Maybe, maybe not. But to argue I'll say this. You are spitting in the face of Sun Tzu to argue that Trump doesn't have charisma. It is the one skill he has. He is a con man.
Arguably, he's losing it, though.
He's losing it in his old age. Yes, he is losing it.
Yeah, he's not as charismatic as he was in 2016, for which I am immensely thankful.
But he is 100% a con man through and through. And one of the major aspects that makes a con man function very well is their charisma. It is their ability to show confidence in a position, irrespective of if it's true. This is the reason why he does things like purport the big lie. This is the reason why he engages in the projection that he does, because when he does these things, it does energize people. It does deflect away from his faults. When you have an enemy who is, quite frankly, as powerful as Trump, the most important thing you can do is respect when they are good at something. And when it comes to playing a crowd, that is his skill. And that is one of the things that makes him very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
Dorito Dave says, we don't read the art of war here. We read the art of the deal. God damn it.
All right. Well, that's it for the tweets. I'm actually kind of surprised that we managed to finish somewhat on time.
Despite all of the somewhat on time. We're an hour late.
No, I've just, in my head, I've just shifted the end time of the show to 11 o'clock.
Oh, this is now an 8:30 to 11 thing.
Yeah. No longer do we end at 10. So before we go, assuming all goes correctly, and all goes according to plan, we will be interviewing Forrest Valkai on September 12th, which is a Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, September 12th.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. Forrest is fucking awesome.
Their video they did on gender, I still have notes on, and I still find them useful.
He did a talk at BajaCon about how science doesn't just help you understand things better, it makes you a better person. And that was a big part of it, is how, like, if you understand race from a scientific perspective, not in the scientific racism thing, but in the whole race is actually a social construct and doesn't have a basis in biology, it makes you a better person. How sexuality, same thing, makes you a better person if you understand how sexuality works. If you understand how sex differentiation works, then you end up not being anti-trans, and it makes you a better person. And that was his whole talk. And he's just a delightful person, and I'm totally looking forward to this.
That's awesome.
And yeah, he's just, it was like, he was one of the people, like, all the people I was in the selfie with, I didn't like hang out with most of them throughout the weekend. Forrest, I actually got a bit of a chance to like actually sit down at a table and like hang out with him for like maybe an hour or something like that. It's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He's like the one, like when he started his YouTube channel, I will admit I was a little bit jealous. Like, I saw how fast he was growing, and it was like, oh, god damn it, I'm not growing that fast. How come he is passing me in subscriber numbers when he just started like last year, and I've been doing this for like 7 years? But then I'm watching his videos and like, oh, that's why he's growing faster than me. He's just good.
Because he's good at what he does.
So yeah,
he's very good at what he does.
Yeah, Olivia says he hates his video on gender. Yeah, I actually did talk to him about that. A big part of that is how many times he smacks the table and it comes through the microphone.
Oh, so he hates it on a mechanical level, not on a research basis.
I didn't get into the nitty gritty with it, but like I could definitely see there being like, I have stuff like this. Like, there are videos that I've done where like I look at them now and I'm like, I could have phrased that better. I didn't have the full picture on this, like I hadn't found this other research on that, and that's a constant struggle with content creation, is like, oh, I learned something new, so now this thing that I said in this old video is no longer accurate. The old video is still up. Do I take it down? Do I put a comment on it? Do I just leave it alone and just correct myself going forward? It's a struggle sometimes.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help keep me afloat and help keep this channel going. YouTube and Twitch are wonderful platforms, but at the end of the day, stability is not one of their strong suits. If you want to support my channel, then obviously Patreon is one of the best ways of doing that. Link is in the description. But I do want to personally thank everybody who has contributed to the channel. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Autumn and Angel, Nixie Chan, Mark Anthony, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that. Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. And everyone else who supports my channel and lets me do what I do full time. This is a dream job of mine that I never believed that I would be able to take full time, and with your help, I've been able to do it. So thank you so very much for that. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all are having a wonderful time. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully.